Hello and welcome to my daily creativity. This one is number 8. Now, if you've missed any of my previous creativity series, just have a look on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, which is Create It with Charlotte Burns. Remember, create with an 8. Now, today what I'm going to do is have a chat. All through the month of May, I'm talking about scrapbooking predominantly, but I am touching a little bit on card making for all of my card making fans. So today what I'm going to be talking about is what happens when you've got too many photos for a page or a double page. So I'm going to move this out of the way and just show you. Yesterday I did a little bit of work on this page here and I showed you how to save paper by putting borders on without using a full sheet of paper and mitering the corners. I still haven't decided on the layout of this. The second page I have put together, so I'm just going to very carefully lift this up. So this is my second page that's coming together quite nicely. Now, as you can see, hopefully if I just bring that back into partial view, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 photos. Now, I actually have more than 4 photos. I have 8 photos, but I don't really want to spread more onto another 2-page spread, so a double page spread. So what I wanted to do really was, what I wanted to do was extend my page. Now there are lots of different tools that we can use. We've got flip flaps, and I'm just going to open up my catalog and show you. So in our annual book, so the core products catalog that goes from September through till August, on page, and I put a little bookmark in here, on page 107, we have these wonderful things called flip flaps. And they come in all sorts of sizes, so all the way from 2 by 2 all the way up. And they're great for popping photos in so that you can put a photo in front of and behind and then journaling or decoration, whatever. But they're also great for extending your pages. And so maybe you haven't seen this, but I want to show you today how you can extend a page. So it takes a little bit of working out. And what I normally do is I have my photos and I work out, what photos I want to put on the page. And then work out the decorations, and I'll decorate one side and then I'll flip the page the way the flip flap is going to go. And then I decorate the next page. So this is how I want this page to look. And in fact, if I move this out the way, because this is actually going in a flip flap, it's identical. So that is how I wanted the page to look, except I wanted a border down the bottom. But because I'm going to put a flip flap on here, the border stays here. And then, and I'm going to show you in a second, because we're actually going to put this into a flip flap. When I flip it down, the border will be down the bottom. So I wanted this to run smooth. So you do need a little bit of thinking preparation. What I'm going to do is show you how to put that piece into a flip flap. So let's pop this into a page protector. Now, I personally like the top load page protectors. We also do side load, so you can load it from the side. But my favorite is the top load. So here we have a top load side, the memory protector, page protector, and I've put my page in there. Then what I'm using is this beauty here. So this is an 8-inch by 12-inch flip flap. And the way this works is this is a cover on a sticky piece, and that sticky piece can go realistically anywhere on your page. It could go here, it could go here, although I tend not to like putting it up the top of the page because it tends to put too much pressure on this. You can put it to the side here, and you can even put it down the bottom. And this is where I'm putting mine. Hopefully this works. Normally what I would do is I'd put it inside the memory protector and work it all out. But anyway, so it's going inside the memory protector like that. What that means is I also need to work out, it's going to go onto my memory protector. The flip flap is going to flip down like so. So this is going to flip down like this, and you'll see it continues on. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So this will fit into my flip flap like this. Now I did trim this down a little bit, which is why if you're OCD like me, you will notice these don't match up exactly. What I could have, should have done was actually done the page and then trimmed it down. So I should have stuck these down first. They don't match up perfectly, but I figured that's okay. I'm getting photos onto pages and that's the main thing. So then that will flip up. What I'm going to do is just move this up so you can see. So that flips up and I'm going to stick that there and I'll show you how that's done in a second. So that will stick there and that will then flip down and I'll have a continuation of the page. So can you see why I didn't put anything there? Because this is a continuation of the page. Voila. So there it is. And all you need to do with these, being very aware that this is extremely sticky, okay? You may have 2 minutes, maybe if you're lucky, to get it off. This is also very clingy, it's very clingy. You may have 2 minutes to get this off if you stick it on incorrectly. But if you leave it on, you may as well just chuck the whole lot out. So I'm just going to line this up like so. Line it up like that and hope this works. Literally hope this works. Okay, so that then goes on like that. I'm going to flip that up. All right, so it is showing down the bottom, which means I want to quickly rip that off. So as I said, you've got a couple of minutes to play with it. So I'm going to fold that over and actually come over and do it from this end. So we'll line it up, which is a bit trickier. Line it up. I'm trying to hold it up there. Line it up with the bottom and in a little bit, because that's what you're actually going to see when you're looking at my album. So as you're flicking through the album, that's what you're going to see. So now that is stuck. And when I open this up, there's a little bit of a gap, but that's okay. And there's my extended page. And as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3 more, well, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 more photos without having to do a whole new double page spread. So there you have it. That is how you can extend pages. Now, a couple of things that I wanted to share with you is I still need to put some embellishments on this, which I'm not sure exactly what I'm putting on. To me, it's a little bit blank. So what I've done, just as a tip with scrapbookers, is I've gone through all of my stamps and I've pulled out anything that might go on these pages, brought them over to my table and I've had a look. Oh, there's that one as well. And of course, my stamp of the month. And I mentioned the word love might go on here somewhere. So I'm saying yes to that one. I thought this one was good. 1,000,000 feelings, 1,000 thoughts, 100 memories, one person. I thought that one was good, but when I had a look at the pages, I decided, nope. So that went over there. The camera, that was for this one here. And I decided, no, that's actually too big. That was way too big. Not sure about these. So I've got fish, because if we look back here, Darren's fishing. So it may be that fish. I may do that fish or a net or something, hook, line and sinker. I've got another fish there, another fish there, another fish there. Darren's a fisherman, so I've got lots of fish stamps. Then this is the camera I ended up deciding on for the photo on the other side, the picture perfect one. So I thought, yep, I'll keep that one. This one is a great one. Now this one is current. Most of these are old, retired. This one I thought was really good, just the fun for the first page. So this one here, this page here, I thought fun might go on there. This is last month's stamp of the month. I've stamped it on some mix-in paper, so pattern paper, and then fussy cut that out. I thought they might go, so I've started on that. That's something I had for another page, so that I'm keeping. This one, practice makes perfect. Thought that might be good. And then I've got some other ones. So I'm hoping to use some of these, but I only got as far as doing the layout and everything yesterday. The other thing I wanted to show you, and this is my tip for my card makers, is this beautiful sun. So I've showed you yesterday how I love to keep paper, not waste paper. As you can see with these are not full 12-inch strips. So I had some 4-inch strips left over. These are less than 8 inch. what I did was, here's for my card makers. I actually have some of these. So I have some card toppers already cut out. Now, a card topper this is a card base. So a card topper is a piece of cardstock that is quarter of an inch? Yes, quarter of an inch smaller on both sides than your card base. So the Close to My Heart card base is 5.5 by 4.25, and I have a ton of white and a ton of black of these just sitting ready to use for something like this. So I grabbed one of these and I just stuck all of my leftover bits from my page onto here. Love the fact that the Close to My Heart cardstock is two-sided. So I've done light, true, true, light, light, true, etc. So I've done that. And then just to prepare it a little bit more, what I did do as well is I stuck that across because I'm going to use the sun. So before I cut this sun out, I'd actually cut this one and then decided it was the wrong color, the wrong orientation. This is a die, it's still available as well. By the way, if you're watching live, remember to say hi, love to chat. If you're watching on replay, #replay. And for all you mums out there, it's Mother's Day today, so happy Mother's Day to you. All right, so what I wanted to share with you was I did a little bit of pre-planning with this, and what I found was I needed a strip up there, and I'm going to be cutting just a fraction off the bottom of this because it ended up being just a fraction over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my non-stick scissors. So I couldn't find these yesterday and I was using my regular scissors, which are great because they're a fine tip, but my non-stick are even better because they don't stick. And I'm just going to trim these bits off. So I had adhesive all the way up my strips, and with the non-stick they don't get sticky, so that's not sticky. I'm just going to pick up these and move them out the way. Then very quickly I'm going to stick this onto my card front, and you'll see not only have I got these bits hanging off, but it also hangs over. And rather than try and cut them with my scissors, I'm going to bring in my choppy chop tool that I showed you the other day. I'm going to pop that in there, make sure it's nice and straight on the board. Hi Michelle and Rhonda, thanks so much for watching. Cut through that, and that was cutting through three thicknesses in some instances on that. It should have only been 2, but I might have chopped it off a bit. Nice fine choppy chop, beautiful machine. And I've got that, let me just get rid of that. Now that's nice and straight at the bottom. Now for this. So that I've decided I'm going to use to cover up these little imperfections. And I know that this will work really nicely smack bang in the middle of the sun. But for all of these little bits, I could use the Close to My Heart tape runner, which I will use for this because it's a little bit wider, but the actual sunbeams, come on, there we go. So the thing I love about the Close to My Heart tape runner is it tends not to leave snails around the outside. But for these bits, I love the Quickie glue pen. So the Quickie glue pen, when you first get it and you open it up, ooh, that's sticky. There's a little cap thing on the actual nib. So just be aware of that. Good morning, Linda, and happy Mother's Day to you as well. Just be aware of that because it won't work with that nib still on. So I'm just scribbling down each of these. I probably don't need to do every single one, but I will. Another thing I love about this glue is that it actually comes out blue. It's blue glue. So you can see where you have used the adhesive. So just scribble down each of these. I'm not so worried about these ones because I'm going to be covering that with something. So the sun then fits. So this die, as I mentioned, is still available. And I'm going to pop that up along that. I might actually take it just up a bit so that it covers up all of that. It fits perfectly on the front of our cards if you line it up properly, Charlotte. Get it nice and straight. There we go. Now you do need to hold the Quickie glue pen stuff down, and what I like to do is, rather than try and rub on that, I'll either flip it over and rub like that, or I'll just get a piece of scrap paper and rub like that. And that way I'm not likely to shift any of that paper and ruin it. Okay, the next thing I wanted to show you was, it was on this page. So on this one, with my mountain, so that it's not stark white, I did some sponging on that. Now, I learnt this technique, sharing lots today because it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day again to everyone. I learnt this technique and it really blew me away at a recent consultant presentation. So usually what I used to do with the sponges is I'd always cut them into sections. So here you can see here I've got a section, and I'd hold them like this, and I'd pounce in my ink, and then I would roll like this onto my paper. But what I found was, what they suggested was actually holding it and using the flat edge and pouncing in your ink and then pouncing on your paper, which gives it a completely different look. So if I can hold that up and show you, it's more of a cloudy look almost. Hopefully you can see that. Sort of a cloudy look. So I haven't done this end yet. I'm going to quickly do this end. I didn't want to spend too long. I've probably already spent too long on this video. So just pouncing on that. And then because this section here is supposed to be a reflection, I actually want the mountains to be a little bit darker. So I'm just going to go along, and I'm actually going to turn it around. I've got a nice edge there, which means as I'm going along, as long as my edge doesn't go over that line, the top bit will end up darker and the bottom bit will end up lighter. Again, I'm using my all-purpose mat underneath me because it's nice and easy to clean up, and the ink won't soak into it either, which means that if I needed to, I could just pick up any ink that's on that. Right. Nearly there. Okay, that'll do. So that is using a sponge, a different way of using a sponge. Love, love that. And then I was going to pop this onto here, and all I was going to do was just line it up with the bottom of those two, like so. The sun fits perfectly into the mountains. I absolutely love that. And I might even use a little bit of 3D foam tape. Why not? All right, so again, I'm seeing my regular scissors, but I'm actually going to grab my non-stick scissors because I don't want those scissors, which are great, but I don't want them getting all sticky. So just quickly putting some 3D foam tape through the middle, a little bit on the top. Now, Simone said you couldn't really see the pouncing. I will certainly put a photo up. I can do that, not a problem. Thank you for the feedback, Simone. It's always handy to hear what you can see on the video. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, Simone. All right. So there we go. Now this is just the thin 3D foam tape. I could use the regular 3D foam tape. Regular 3D foam tape is twice as high as this. It's also the narrow. So whenever you purchase 3D foam tape, you get a narrow, and you also get a wide tape. So that's the narrow one. All right. Now, as I mentioned before, wasn't terribly worried about them not being stuck down because I knew that these were going to go over the top, and I'm pretty sure that they do not go to the edge. No, they don't. So I'm going to bring that in to there, that into there, just trying to center it. The stamp, well, where I've cut it is not quite as wide as the paper, but that's okay. All right, there we go. And then down the bottom, if I want, I can do some more strips, which I've got here. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day from your children.
Oh, yeah. No worries. There you go. So, yeah, I'll probably finish that off with a couple of strips and we'll be done. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, if you find yourself, you've got time, make some time. Get out and stay in. Don't get out, stay in. Do some scrapbooking, share it with me. I'd love to see it. Make a card, share that. I'd love to see that as well. But from this mother, I am going to head off and do some more scrapbooking actually, because all of my kids are out at the moment. Stay safe, keep crafting, and bye for now.